Howdy folks, it has been a little while since the last video, and for that I apologize. I've been pretty busy with life and all kinds of exciting events, and just haven't had time to sit down and make a video. But I have one for you today, which has got a couple things to talk about, as well as the long-awaited apartment tour. We'll go ahead and start with that, since I know everyone is waiting on that one. So here you go. All right, so here's the house. We have the entranceway here. So this is the entranceway where you take your shoes off, and a little supply cabinet. Right here we have the washing machine and sink, and the bathroom, or the shower room. Next to that is the toilet. I have two of my trash cans here. These are the metal and glass trash bags. And then behind that I have my large cardboard. Here is the kitchen. I have an induction stove. That is the remaining trash. I have my tiny fridge. And then my table with my rice cooker and my bread grill, and then my cabinet that works as my pantry. Here is the living room. I've got a couch. I have a back porch door here. No back porch though, but I do have a nice little view of the tree line. And then we have the TV where I've got my game system set up, and my little work table. That's the Kotatsu. In the winter, it will have a blanket over it, and there's a heater underneath it that runs. That's the storage closet. Currently has all of my luggage and such. So that's the downstairs. So that room is where I was sleeping before. So we go upstairs. A teeny tiny little narrow staircase. So this is the upstairs area where I've got my workspace set up with my computer. And then in here is the bedroom. And we've got a little closet here where I've got all of my extra pillows and blankets and stuff for if I ever have any guests over. So the only real big thing about it that's a problem is you can see I have to turn my head or I bonk it. So that's a bit of rough. And then the stairwell is very narrow and very steep. Steep is the word I want to do. So that's a little bit frustrating. Beyond that, it's not too bad. I mean, like I said, the fridge is, oh, come on. The fridge is very tiny. I'm used to my fridges being taller, but it's not bad. It's a lot bigger than some of the other places that the ALTs got to live, so I'm very happy with it. Hope you enjoyed the tour. I'm sorry it took so long. As far as what's been going on in my life, the biggest things have been a trip to Tokyo, the sports festivals, and kind of just getting settled in. For Laurel's birthday this month, I went to Tokyo and we spent the weekend together. We did a couple of food tours because we both enjoy those. We did some shopping. We kind of just hung out and it was really nice. And I had a great time. It was great seeing her in person again. I'm looking forward to the next time I get to see her, which will be at the beginning of October when I will see her and her family because they're coming to Japan. So that's going to be great. We didn't get any videos of anything because I was too busy enjoying myself and just didn't have the desire to pop out the camera and record anything, which is fine. But that's just it. I will say, having gone to Tokyo now, that I have kind of realized, not necessarily realized, it's made it obvious one of the big differences kind of in people between Shimane and Tokyo, because in Tokyo everybody's much more reserved and kind of keeps to themselves, just the way that the city exists. Whereas in Shimane, everybody's a little bit more outgoing and open. And when I'm walking around in Shimane, I kind of expect that people will wave back or say hello, or maybe even just chat with me briefly to introduce themselves and say a random fact about themselves, because that's what happens all the time. When in Tokyo, you just kind of keep your head down and go about your business. So that kind of made me a little bit more glad that I got posted out here in Shimane, just kind of reinforcing that country feeling that I've come to enjoy. And speaking of kind of being part of the community, we recently had sports days at our schools in Shimane. I got to go to a middle school sports festival and an elementary school sports festival. The sports festival kind of reminds me of what I remember the track and field day in elementary school was like. Everybody kind of comes out, there's a whole bunch of competitions, parents come out and watch and cheer for their kids, and then you have just a variety of little events that everybody gets to do, and then you all enjoy yourselves and go home. It's a little bit different in Japan, but it kind of the similar feel. So in Japan, unlike in America, it's not an individual competition, it's team competitions. Because of the sizes of my schools all only had 2 teams, but some of the bigger schools can have 4, 5, 6 teams. And so that was one big difference. Another big difference is, at least for the middle schoolers came up with the events that they were going to do for the sports day. So this the first years, the second years, and the third years, which translates to 7th, 8th, and 9th graders at the middle school, each came up with an event. Then they had, so that was 3 events. Then there were 2 other events that they did. And then, so they kind of came up with the events, they made the rules, they did the diagrams and everything, and then they put it on as part of the festival. And the events are really all kind of a similar feel. They're almost all relay races, with kind of a gimmick to them. So like they had one where they had to do walk with like an egg on a spoon. They had another where they had to run to an area and they pulled a random exercise out of a box. They had to do that exercise and then they got to run and hand the relay stick off and that kind of thing. Then for all the sports festivals, they kind of end with an appeal contest is what they call it. And that is like a skit/dance that the kids put on. And it's very, very adorable and super cute. It was a very interesting experience leading up to it because for about 2 weeks before Sports Day happened, every day they would spend 1, 2, 3 hours of the day prepping for this. Whether that was meeting in a room to kind of draw out the diagrams and plan out things, or to pick out what the choreographed dance and skit would be, or practicing setting stuff up on the field, practicing running the events, practicing their public speaking, and all of that. So for the last couple of weeks, we've had 2 to 3 periods a day where there were no classes and everybody was just prepping for sports day. So that was kind of a unique experience that I don't think would happen in America. So that was neat. The elementary school sports day was also a little bit different because it was at my smaller elementary school, which only has about 20 students for 6th grades. And they had not just the children's sports day, but they also had what seemed to be kind of a neighborhood sports day. I'm kind of assuming a lot of this because I didn't understand everything that was being talked about, but about 150 to 200 adults from the town of Shishi all showed up, at the elementary school alongside the 20 kids. And some of the events were the events for the kids, and then there were some events where the kids would watch and cheer, and the various people from around town would go out and compete against each other. And they had several different camps that were set up whose names made me think they were like neighborhoods or areas of town. And so that was neat. And then that one ended with what they called the generational relay race, which I got to participate in, where they started with the youngest kids, and then they had everybody line up by age and then split us up into teams. And so that you would pass the baton, and people got older and older each lap, until at the very end, the grandmothers and grandfathers were kind of half running around the thing, the track, and that was how the event ended. It was very, very cute. It was really neat. It was a lot of fun. Both sports festivals were a blast. After the Shishi Elementary School one, I actually got invited to a follow-up event the next day where I went to their community center. We played video games. They had a competition there between the adults and the kids where the kids smashed it and the adults were all beaten. It was very, very fun. It was very cute. I'm really hopeful to get to do some more stuff out there. That community is very welcoming and was very friendly and nice to let me join in, even though I don't technically live in their community. I live about 20 minutes away. So I'm hopeful that I'll get to do more stuff with them in the future. I have gotten to settle in more with the kids now. So 4 days a week, I eat lunch at the middle school, and I've been kind of migrating around the various tables there. They've started opening up more and chatting with me before and after we eat. I'll actually probably do a video entirely on the lunchtime process, because it's a little bit of a wild experience compared to home. And so that's been nice. I've gotten to organize and run some games in class. So it kind of feels more like I am participating and helping out, as opposed to just standing in the corner and then saying English words when they're pointed at by the teacher. Overall, I am still having a great time and loving it out here. I hope that that continues, and that you will get to enjoy more videos where I talk about all the cool things that have been happening. Hopefully the next one will be out within a week, assuming that nothing else happens to delay it. Otherwise, it'll happen when it happens, and that's just life. Beyond that, thank you all for watching. If you have any questions that you would like for me to talk about, feel free to drop them in the comments. And until next time, safe travels, everybody.